Let's start over with Core Genius. Core Genius, when I started this group, was, actually, it was the second Daily Fuel that I did. The first one was 2020 because I didn't know what else to talk about on the first day. But the first real spiritual topic that I dove into was Core Genius. Now, a little background. I did Core Genius on the first day because I thought that the reason I was starting this group was to teach people about their core genius and how to tap into it and then use it to be, use your superpowers and do what you want to do with your life. And by the third or fourth day of running this group, I realized I ain't doing that. I wanted it to be about art, and I changed it to the spiritual artist. And most of you only have known that name, but if you look at the About section, it was called Power and Purpose for Lightworkers for like 4 or 5 days after I opened it. And that didn't last very long because I realized this isn't what I want to be talking about or who I want to be talking to. I want to talk to artists. And so here we are. But Core Genius still remains a viable topic because the core genius is that thing, that talent, that core, like I call it a core genius, but it's that main talent that is just exuding from your spirit, from your soul, that thing you have to do, that you can't help it. You just want to do it all the time. And I think that we as human beings create life around us, and it kind of like piles a bunch of crap on top of your core genius, and if you're not careful, it can get buried, and you might go years or decades without really tapping into it and creating from that. Now, I'll use the word creation, and when it comes to core genius, as artists, we think of creation as creating, literally creating art, but I'm also talking about just, and anyone even who's not an artist can create from their core genius, and you can create as a healer, you can create as a teacher, as a speaker, as an anything. It doesn't even matter what it is, whatever, even doctors, could be that, just whatever it is that like you pull out of yourself. But I'm talking to artists mainly here. So this past week, and the reason why I needed a day off yesterday was, it'll make sense as I get to the end of this spiel, and then I'm going to get to all your comments and stuff. So by the way, if you're joining live, the way I do this is I have a whole spiel that I go through, and then I'm going to come to the comments. So if you would like, you can start commenting now, and then it's fun. When I read your comments in a few minutes, I won't know what the heck you're talking about, which is always fun for me. But last week, I was talking about this thing that I'm doing where I'm trying to figure out really how to turn my core genius into a business. I've been trying to figure this out for 20 years, and I kept diluting it all the time. I think of something and I'd be like, that's a really good thing for me to do, and then I would say, yeah, but how do I make money doing that? Well, I could make money doing this thing instead, which is kind of close to that. And it was that whole whittling it down until I had a nub thing that I did last week. And basically, I kept ending up with versions of a business that were kind of close to my core genius, or it's like, well, it's art and it's creation and it's design and it's cool and you're good at it, and people will pay money for it, so why not? Until year after year after year of doing it, you're just like, oh, I can't stand doing this anymore, and it's like I'm only taking on this client or that client because it pays the bills, and there's no joy in it, and there's no anything in it, and so every couple of years what would happen is I would want to just take that whole business and throw it in the garbage and be like, forget this, and then I would try to figure out something that I could do. That's why I also have this TV show called Planet Bonehead that I made for kids, and it's really cool, and while I was doing it, it was so much more connected to my core genius. And so then I was thinking, let me go back to that because that was better than this business. And I did go back to it. And in 2018, I spent pretty much the whole year gearing up to do something with Planet Bonehead again, until I realized that I did this already. I don't want to do it again. I've already done it. It's like, check, make a TV show to teach kids about science and the environment. Check, did it. I don't feel like continuing it. I didn't feel like doing it anymore, which was strange because I thought that it kind of had to be like a thing that I would make and just keep doing that thing for forever. And so now I'm kind of thinking, well, maybe I'm just going to make it more like a project based, where I'm going to have an idea for a project and I'm going to make that project and then check, and then what's the next project? And right now that's kind of where I'm at. But last week, I'm kind of all over the place today, which is why I didn't do a Daily Fuel yesterday, because if this one seems all over the place yesterday, I was spaghetti brain, and I couldn't even form a sentence of what I wanted to talk about at all, and I was like, I'm just going to babble for 15 minutes, and then today I was like, you know what, I want to get back to it. I saw Diana, said hi, Bobby. Hi, Diana. I don't usually say hi to the comments and stuff, but it just glanced, and you're not always here, so I didn't want you to think I was ignoring you. What do you call it? So I came up with this thing where I realized that this problem that I was having was that I was having a fear of success. And the fear of success stemmed from my way of thinking about me, Bobby, the 3D version of me, compared to my inner being, my higher self, my soul, my God part, right? Whatever you like to call it, that thing, And without even realizing it, I always kind of thought that, like when I say this out loud in English, it sounds weird. It sounds dumb. It's like, I didn't think that, but I guess deep down I kind of did, that it was like two separate things, and that me, the big spirit me, was this huge, like I was the entire universe, but me, Bobby, was just this insignificant little version of this big thing, but there's all these other versions of it, and that when I accomplish my mission here, that this me, Bobby version would just sort of like get filed away in a drawer and be like, well, that was fun, and then you close the drawer, and then I'd go off and I'd do something else, and I'd completely forget about me, and when I articulated that and I realized, wow, there's some truth to feeling that way, I was like, well, that's not how it works. I don't actually believe that, but here I am, a part of me did. And that was what was holding me back from from actually achieving anything that I wanted to achieve on a bigger scale. It's like I just said, I made that TV show for kids. That's great, but it didn't launch into the world on the scale that I want it to, I'm not saying that I need to be a household name. I'm not saying I don't really need to be like Hollywood famous or anything like that, but I do want to create projects that are tremendous, even if they're tremendous in a smaller pond. Like I want rabid fans around the thing that I make. Even I don't need to be a pop star musician. I don't need to be on the level of Harry Styles, right? But if I became like a heavy metal musician, say, I'd want to be like known in that genre, right? Even if people outside of that genre never heard of me, that doesn't matter to me. I want the people who are into that thing to be really into me, right? Does that make sense? I'm hoping so. I get nothing back from my camera. It doesn't tell me yes or no. But so I've thought of it now that once I realized that model that I had for big me, little me wasn't true. Well, I already knew it wasn't true. Logically, I understood that, and my knowledge of law of attraction and the way that the quantum physics and the universe works and our place in it, like I don't believe that. But it turned out that a little nugget inside my brain did. And once I looked at it, I was like, that's wrong. And my brain just went, okay. And it was like, as soon as I shined a light on it, and said, no, that's not true, it just was like, oh, okay, then let's throw that away. And I was unencumbered by it. It was like a snap of the finger. And a thing that had been bothering me, unbeknownst to me, for years. I saw it. Oh, there it is. Let me do. And it was gone. And I was like, well, that was a thing, right? And all the issues that I had, like I can't break through in this business, or I'm trying to do this with that business or whatever, all of those things, I realized those were just symptoms of this deeper problem that I have now gotten rid of, and all of the symptoms suddenly didn't matter to me. for example, I would always look at something that I wanted to do, like this project that I'm working on now. Prior to this week, I'd look at it and I'd be like all excited about it. And then I would try to reverse engineer it into some kind of business that I could explain to other people so that I could justify it to my wife, or I could justify it to myself, or to you, or to anybody that was listening, because, oh, that's weird to do that as a business. And I would whittle it down to something that wasn't even close to the original thing that got me excited in the first place. But now I said, well, I'm not going to do that anymore. And I've been working on this project now for the past week. And it's coming along great. And I said to myself, I'm not going to even worry about how this is going to be a business, because the universe is going to support me. And sure enough, today's Tuesday, and yesterday a client called me, and today a different client called me, and they both hired me to do these projects. And I was like, well, there's the universe supporting me, and my project that I'm working on isn't ready to make money yet, but the universe just swooped in and said, well, you're ready to do it, so now we're ready to support you with things that are very easy for you to just knock off and collect a check. And I was like, all right, I guess I believe this. So that was really good. And then finally, it just another reason I was unsure about what to do for Daily Fuel yesterday was because I wasn't sure, like, what I didn't know, like, why I created this group. I knew that I was drawn to create this group, but yesterday I was standing around and I was like, I don't even know why I did it. And because the day that I thought to do it, I was like, I just had this feeling that I was like, you should start a Facebook group. You should do that, and you should do Daily Fuel again. And I was like, well, you really liked doing that. But I was still in the old paradigm where I thought to myself, well, maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a Facebook group and build a business around me, and I'm going to sell them something, And it quickly got to the point, and I've said this a few times, that I was like, I don't think that's it. I don't see myself taking this group there. And it just sort of seemed like the Daily Fuels were just becoming this therapy session for me to figure this out. And then bam, all of a sudden I figured this thing out. And yesterday I was having a very hard time just articulating any thoughts. But then today I was like, now I'm at a new vantage point, and there's going to be more contrast, and there's going to be another mountain to climb over, and there's going to be another thing. And I think that what I want to see this group as is sort of like a peer group, where here we are, all spiritual artists. I don't see myself as like, I'm up here teaching you how to get to where I am. I think we're all taking this journey together in a sense. And some days I'll be ahead, and some days you'll be ahead, and some days we'll all fall off a cliff and have to climb back up again. But I see it as sort of like a peer group or a focus group, and we've already become potential collaborators. We already have the collab posts and stuff. But I just see it continuing from new vantage point to new vantage point to new vantage point. And anyway, that's what I see it as. I'm going to get to the comments now. So, hi. Let's see what we're at. That's a lot of comments from Robin. Okay, let's see what we got. I love that descriptive title, Core Genius, Dying to Get Out. That reminds me, says Robin, of what my younger brother told me one time when he got tired of listening to me tell him what I wanted to do over and over again, so much that he got sick of it and almost even mad. And he... Just do it, Robin. Just stop talking about it and just go for it. Yeah, that's how I feel. And that's how I felt, because if you've lived in my house, then you've heard the conversation. I just want to do this thing. And I'd start it and then stop, and then start it and then stop, and start it and then stop. And I never understood why until like this week. Diana says, hi, Bobby. Hi, Diana. And Robin says, so I did finally, and it was great. The beginning of a wonderful journey. I owed a lot to him because it was so simple and the right thing, but I didn't know that. Maybe that can be true for you, Bobby. Just do it. Yep. And I can't wait to see what you come up with. I've come up with something really cool, actually, because I know it will be awesome and it will surprise you. It will even surprise you, guarantee. But don't quote me because I'm not a betting person. I'm the only one commenting, maybe just talking to myself. Just kidding. Create. Okay. Yes, thank you, Robin. Yes, and it is. I'm not going to say it's surprising to me, but here's what happened this week. Once I took these shackles off, and it was like, you know what? I said to myself, what do you really want to make? And I started outlining it and drawing it and figuring it out, and it became. And I mentioned this last Saturday that it's the beginnings of a project that are going to include all of my talents: music, design, drawing. I had them written down the other day. I don't remember what the rest of the others are. What do I do? I don't know. Anyway, all of them, right? And storytelling, and it's going to just sort of encompass all of them. And I'm going to do one project at a time, where the project is a story, and I'm going to tell the story in multiple formats, and they all go together. And I can't think of an analogy to it because I don't know that anyone's ever done this before, but they're kind of like a concept album and a graphic novel and a movie together. And I'm going to do it in bits and pieces, like one song at a time, and each song is a chapter of the novel, is a snippet of the thing, and I'm going to release it in parts, kind of like a serial thing. This way, you don't have to wait for the whole darn thing to be done, because that'll take forever, and everybody will get bored and forget about it. But if it's like, here's a trailer for it, then here's the first part, and then here's the second part, and you know how numbers work. So it's going to kind of go like that. And Ray says, we're reading, but the furry little being is captivating and pretty hard to follow sometimes. Besides, I'm eating. Okay, let's see. Maybe sneak into a closet, work on your grand project if you have to hide it. Yeah, that was because I said I had to hide it. No, I don't have to hide it. That was just how I felt. I didn't have to justify it to anyone, including my wife. She's been very supportive of everything I do. I always felt like I had to. And it was made up. Ray says, about time you believe it. You know the universe does get tired of pointing people in the right direction. See 2020 for details. Yeah, right? I always think of it as it starts tapping you on the head, or it starts tapping you on the shoulder, and then it starts tapping you on the head, then it starts tapping a little harder, and then it starts hitting you on the head, and then it drops a brick on your head, and then a building. And right? And if you still don't get it, then you croak and you start over, or something like that. But Robin says, the universe often surprises you when you just go ahead and do it. Whatever it is, the world often just cooperates and leaves you wondering why and how it happened. But it doesn't matter. Just do it and things happen. It's a mystery, but it works. Yeah, I've always believed that. Like I said, it was just this weird way, this weird belief that I had that I didn't even know I had. And when I found it, I pointed at it and went, no. and it just got up and left and was like, okay, well, I don't belong here. And now it's like I'm completely unafflicted by it. It's very strange. Laura Donahue says, hi, everyone. That's my sister. Hi, how are you? Not my wife, Laura Donahue, my sister, Laura Donahue. Luckily, I see pictures, so I know. Robin says, you are what they call a triple threat, LOL. Yeah. More than triple. Yeah, I have several artistic talents. I can sing, I can write, I can draw, and I can make up stories and stuff. Can't dance, so you're not gonna see that. And then Diana put what is that? I can't see a high. Is that a high? It's hard to see the little things. And I always support you. Yes, you. My entire family has always supported me. That has never been an issue for me, luckily. So anyway, if that's it, then we can be done today. That's where we're going to go moving forward. I want, I love what's happening in the group where everybody is posting art and things like that. If all you want to do is post pictures and be like, here's the thing I made, that's fine. But I also like it when people share like what went into it and what they're working on and where they're going. Like you can create, like we can all sort of tell the story of our journey in the group. It doesn't have to be just here's a painting that I did or here's a poem that I wrote. You can, but you can share as much as you want. You know what I mean? You can share as much of your journey as you want, and because I think that the more we're doing that, then the more we have other people to learn from and be inspired by. I'm kind of riffing off the top of my head here, but I was actually thinking of things like maybe having guest people do daily fuels, so it's not always just me, or have one or two other people that have their own kind of series going on in here. I don't know. I just know that there's so much that can be done here, so that everybody can contribute as much or as little as they want. And you know, the way that Facebook groups work, a lot of people just it's just consumption, and which is absolutely fine. And you guys have never left all the creation to me, which I've always appreciated. Anyway, I'm running out of things to say, and now I'm just babbling. Mikey showed up. Just got here. We'll catch the replay. Cool, buddy. And Robin says, you can conceptualize. Yeah, I can. All right, guys. I am going to go. I'm going to go grill some pork chops, I think. And that's it. And like your logo. Like my logo? Do you mean you like my logo? Or I don't know what that means. Anyway, you know what? It doesn't matter because I'm too tired. All right. Thank you, everybody. I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.